Good morning, dear hearts. Okay, we are starting a new section of the workbook, part 2 of the workbook. What is the second coming? So that is what has been described as our special thought. Okay, that will guide all of the next 10 lessons that we cover. So what is the second coming? And today, of course, there will be 2 videos, one for this and then one for today's actual lesson. So the second coming, and I'm going to do this, describe this and explain this through individual words and then link them all together. So the second coming is the restoration of our minds back to what is whole and what is real. It is the reawakening upon our minds to truth. It is the correction of all the ego thoughts that we have ever had, and therefore it is the return to sanity, to saneness, because without an ego thought, what we have is sanity, and it's only the ego thoughts that have given us the idea, the experience of insanity. With the second coming, forgiveness has been accomplished to all things. I love it, and I've said it many times, when the Course talks about all living things, okay? And this is what it is, because it's all living things are now being brought together into the oneness of the reawakening on our minds. That is equality. We are all equal in the kingdom. It is the release of all of the limiting thoughts that we have ever had or would have, because it is embracing our limitedlessness. We are learning to remember who we really are. In fact, learning will have been accomplished. It is the re-establishment of the order of the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven. Now, we have several words: restoration, reawakening, release, re-establishment. All of these are because all of these things have already happened. Okay, we have already been awake, but we forgot, so we need to be reawakened. As I've said before, it's like we've hit the snooze button. So we are going to reawaken now, and we are going to pay attention to when that alarm has gone off, because now we know we want to be awakened to the truth and the reality of who we really are and what our real reason for being here is. And that is part of the second coming. Okay, we will experience the second coming in time, but it is actually the release of all time boundness. Okay, we will move into our timeless state with the reawakening, because that is who we really are. We are part of the kingdom of God. We are the experience, the truth of being God's own child. And God's own child is awakened and is timeless and is limitless. And all of these things will come to us with the second coming. Now, how does this work? How does this arrive? When will it arrive? And this lesson, this section, this special thought, is very beautiful in how it describes it. And that this will happen when we are going to be willing to allow it to come into our awareness. And the last paragraph of this says that pray that the second coming will be soon. But do not rest with that. Do not rest with your prayer. In order for this to occur, to be recognized, there again, another word, okay? It's already happened. Now we're going to really see it. It needs your eyes and ears and hands and feet. It needs your voice, and most of all, it needs your willingness. This will not come into our awareness unless we are willing. And when we are willing, and we will use our eyes to see truly, we will use our ears to hear God's voice, the holy voice, the voice for God within us. And we use our hands and our feet. We have turned all of our body over to be used for a holy purpose, which is the second coming, the awakening, the re-establishment of the equality of all of God's children to be as one as we are meant to be. So, I hope that helped. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment. But mostly today, please read this section, because I certainly cannot do it justice with individual words, and it is beautifully written and will be wonderful, and you will feel an upliftment as you read the words of the Christ. Namaste.